All right, let's just get started.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
So what are we talking about today, Jason?
Stress management,
And
I think, right?
yes, and they're going to tell you there's like doing the research, they're going to tell you mindfulness and meditation. I'm going to just cut that shit out right now because if you're stressed out and you don't
Take my
have
grip.
right and you don't have like 10 years or so to practice meditation, you're not going to be able to meditate when you're stressed out.
No, and you know what? And I don't use this as a crutch or anything like that, but I can't meditate because well, I do have ADHD. I can't focus enough because I haven't been doing it long enough.
Right,
And it's meditating is really hard for me that I find it becomes more stressful.
right.
Like okay, I'm just gonna go right into a quick story. I had a therapist for a while, and she wanted to hypnotize me. And the first time that she tried, she's like, blah 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 blah. She's like, but she's before we got started, she's like, I want you concentrating your breathing. In one, two, three, four. Hold one, two, three, four. Out one. So the whole time she's trying to hypnotize me,
Right.
all I'm doing is going one, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, one.
Right.
And I didn't hear a word she said.
Right.
And she's like, well, how do you feel? I was like, I feel like it didn't work because I wasn't paying attention. She's like, wait, what? I was like, I was concentrating on the breathing so much, the 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds. She was like, okay, let's start over. Let's do this. Let's not worry about the breathing. You just breathe.
Right.
And then it was the first time in my life I ever felt that somebody actually hypnotized me. I went to a show one time, or we had this work party when I lived in Seattle, and the boss had hired a hypnotist.
Okay.
And they're like, the hypnotist is like, I want somebody who, I want some volunteers, but somebody who's not afraid to blah blah. And I'm like, I'll do it. And he goes like, no. Right away, he's like, no. I'm like, the fuck, man? I'm volunteering. I didn't get offended.
Right.
Okay, wait, strike that. Yes, I did, because I wanted to be back then I was like, no, you choose me. I get choose first for kickball.
Right.
But he looked at me. He's like, no, and it took me years to really understand why that hypnotist. He knew right away that I was not going to go under,
Right.
and it would have been a waste of his time, and I would have probably been up there like a jackass trying to like fake it and be wrong, and then ruin the whole show. So, but they're on point. They know.
Right. Or mocking him.
Yeah. So he straight up told me no on that. It's because I wouldn't have been able to be hypnotized that night anyway.
Right. All right. So let's go through some stress management techniques.
All right.
Let I let perplexity do it, but I have my own that I'm going to throw in there too.
Okay.
So again, relaxation is almost impossible to do when you're stressed out.
Yes. Um,
So let's go. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to throw out there. Deep breathing is a way of trying to manage it to get to a spot. So I don't really think deep breathing is a great stress management tool either.
It is actually because when like at the end of your day, you have a tendency to let out a sigh,
Hmm.
like it just and I can't remember what they called it. I watched this whole hour long video on this yesterday, but I kind of connect that with Qui Gong. But that sigh is
In.
letting go. When you sigh like that, you're letting go of stuff. You're letting go of your day and stuff like that. So the deep breathing does help because when you do that deep breathing, you're gonna sigh at the end of it, and that's gonna help you release a lot of stuff. And that goes along with Qui Gong too, which I'll get into later.
Okay.
All right. So I've got physical activities. Okay, these are great. Um, exercise regularly, get 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise like brisk walking per week. Or for you and I, it's our jobs.
Yeah.
Take quick walks to clear your mind and reduce tension. Stretch to relieve muscle tension, especially during a stressful workday. I do this a lot, but I do it because my back is messing with me.
Mm,
I touch my toes a lot while I'm at work because it helps my back crack
gotcha.
and pop in the spots it needs to pop, and that lets
I'll
go
do
of
I
tension.
do the turning thing
Yep.
because it's not really my back. It's I get knots underneath my shoulder blades.
Yep.
And if I can grab a hold of something and pull against it, it helps stretch that out and release
You know what those knots underneath your shoulder blades are? It's
what?
a rib out of place.
Mm.
Because it happens to me on my right side all the time. And like that shoulder blade, I'm always having problems with. And I go to my physical therapist and I'm like, he's like, well, where's it hurting today? And he'll touch it. I'm like, right there. He's like, oh, he's like, yep, that's number whatever rib out of
No,
place.
then I have multiple because I get the knots on both sides.
Yep. There's, there's been times I've had 3 or 4 ribs out of place and he's fixed them. So it's, your body does that naturally. I mean, your ribs go out of place, and I never knew about it until I
Mm.
started going to physical therapy. But because I've always had that knot under that right shoulder.
Sometimes it gets so debilitating that I have to like take a tennis ball and then lean up against a wall and roll up and down it like I'm a
Yep,
fucking bear on a tree.
yep. Another good one for releasing tension in your back is to lay on your back, bring your knees up, so like your knees are kind of like that, where your legs are pointing outward, and
Hmm.
then turn your upper body to the left and bring your knees
Oh
down to
yeah.
the right, and that helps release that tension. And then go the other way as well. That's another good way to release tension in your back. And a lot of times we're stressed out because, especially as we get older, I mean, you can relate to this. I can count the number of days I'm not in pain on pretty much one hand.
Mm.
you know,
Right.
it's part of life. It's all the shit we did to our body when we were younger. And that doesn't help with stress either. So if you can do yoga or do some stretching and some exercising, when you feel better about your body, you're going to feel better about everything,
True.
and that's
Yeah.
going to help relieve that stress. All right, so that's the physical activities parts of it. You got anything to add to it?
Well, and then the physical activity. There's like you mentioned the brisk walk, the brief walk. Um, the key to that isn't just taking a walk, it's getting your heart rate up a little bit when you're doing it. So, like, I get 12 to 15,000 steps a day at work, but I wouldn't call any of them good
Right,
because yes, I'm walking, but I put 1,000 steps walking around the campus. I put another 1,000 doing this. I put another 1,000 here, but I don't really elevate my heart rate, and very seldomly does my watch go, "What activity are you doing?"
right,
And when it does, it's like, "Fuck, are you doing? You're doing something?"
right. About
So
fucking time, guy.
have a purpose for it, and also it's if you're going to do that, and if you're doing it for stress, then it's also really good to listen to something that puts you in a calming space,
hmm
or do I won't say meditate, but just concentrate on things that make you happy. Things
Right,
don't concentrate on the stressors, concentrate on something different.
right. Well, and there, I do have more to add to the physical activity. Another really good exercise to help with stress is Tai Chi.
Mm.
Because Tai Chi, you're you're focusing so much on what you're doing and keeping the pace slow. I mean, if you don't know what Tai Chi is Chinese external medicine, basically doing slow motion martial arts moves. And the whole time you're doing that, you're focusing on these moves, and you're just kind of, and so your mind lets go of everything that was stressing them out. And that's one of the big things is get your mind to let go of that and let your subconscious deal with the stress. And I can tell you a ton of ways to do that besides just physical afterwards. So you got anything else to
Yeah,
add?
one more. And I didn't know how bad my balance was until I tried yoga.
Yeah.
I remember getting on a Wii. um, balance board,
Yep.
and I could not hold still long enough to get that stupid little circle in the middle. So it basically, like you can't even balance. How are you even standing or walking?
Right.
But trying some of the, obviously not anything, high level, but I've tried yoga,
Yep.
and that's when I realized that even though I used to, roof houses and build, commercial buildings where you have to, walk walls and do other shit like this. I did all that shit without really having the best balance.
Right. See, I'm lucky. I've always had good balance. As I get older,
I
it's not.
always thought I did. I always thought I did until I started doing yoga, and it's like, holy shit,
Yeah,
I'm
because my
becoming
wife
a
taught
miserable
me
mess.
yoga, and I took to it. I mean, there's certain things I couldn't do, like I can't do that crow pose. I've tried that 100
Mm.
times,
Crow is my nemesis.
and that's her nemesis. But I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking about a chick that can't walk through the house without stubbing her toe, but can teach stand up or teach yoga on a stand up paddleboard. She has all the balance to do that, but she doesn't walk through the house.
It's all about focus.
As she says, it's all about focus.
Right.
But yeah, so that's kind of the physical aspect of what you can do to help it. Um, what area you want to go into next?
Let's go to mental.
Okay, mental health strategies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go ahead and run with it.
This one I think is probably one of the for me, it's one of the most important things just in life in general.
Yeah,
And it's one of the three staples that's probably in every farmhouse in America. It's laugh.
yeah,
Live, laugh, and love. It's on every farmhouse in America. At least it was for a while when that trend was going around. But
right.
laughter
You
can,
just get a little Letterkenny in your life.
yeah, exactly. It can calm you. It increases your blood flow. It boosts your immunity. It reduces stress. It releases endorphins. There's so many things that just laughing can do. And it, you can watch a good movie. And I'll tell you what, one thing that no matter how bad or good my day is, if I want to laugh, I'm going to watch obese people on rope swings.
That's not funny because I was one of those obese people on road
Oh,
one time, and
I
I
don't, there's
fucking
something, I don't know. It's like an epic fail videos. And every time one of those little clips come in there, I'm dying. I don't know what it is.
I love the epic failed ones. But yeah, I did one of those rope swings into a river and face planted in scorpion. My toes touched the ground behind my head. My kid told me about this afterwards. I'm like, yeah, so I haven't touched
Yep,
a rope
feel
swing
it.
since. That was very embarrassing because there was a huge group of people there too that I worked with.
Mm. The
So I
last time I was on a rope swing and I did that, I did this like Tweety Bird thing in air where I like let go and I like this instead of like rolling my arms or anything like that, but they looked like I was trying to fly away. So yeah, I've had embarrassing moments on there. Maybe that's what it is subconsciously. That's what I'm thinking. I was like, ha, I'm not the only one.
right. Oh, I'm gonna go back to physical activities real
Mhm.
quick.
Okay.
Really good one, kayaking or paddleboarding.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're out there, you're in nature. Like my wife and I hike or we paddle, and when we're out in nature, we're at peace. No matter how stressful the day was, I mean, we'll be like, snapping at each other on the way there, but once we're out on the water, all good. Unless it's a windy day, my wife's paddleboard is starting to float away and she can't control it. Then I got to tow her.
I remember we used to kayak a lot down this river out here, and one time I went with my son, and he was in a inner tube behind me, so it's like I just towed him the entire time, and he just
Nice.
just laid back, just enjoyed the sun, enjoyed the scenery. And it was a pretty decent stream, so it's not like you really had to you were steering, not paddling.
Right. Just keep yourself away from branches with spiders.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Bushes on the shores with the spiders,
Yep. All right.
as they don't seem to ever go away. So
Right.
my next one there is cuddle with a pet.
I would if I wasn't allergic to it.
Hmm. It's like there's so many studies done on how just petting a dog, petting a cat, can actually calm you down.
Not if you pet my dog, because if you pet my dog and you stop, she's gonna nudge your hand for the next 3 hours.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then
There's
it goes from relaxing to wanting to kick the shit out of a
it
dog,
is a live animal, so there are quirks.
right?
Uh,
She's an attention whore.
mm, gotcha. My next one is write in a journal.
Oh, that's a good one,
Um, write down how you feel in that moment about what's ever stressing you.
right?
Get it out. I mean, you don't have to be Shakespeare. You don't have to be, Tarantino in your dialogue. Just write it out. So, it's just like talking it out to a therapist. You're
Yep.
writing it on paper. You're getting all of your raw emotions on there. And then the best thing about writing it down is you can return to it.
There you go.
You can go back and look to see why was that stressful? And I'm not gonna say a lot of times because stress has comes in so many shapes and sizes, but there are instances where when you do go back and look at it, you can go, maybe I saw the moment different,
Right,
and maybe it was something you did or something you said that there was a variable in there that you could have controlled differently that would have changed the situation.
right. Yeah. See, self awareness helps a lot with it too, because like I
Yeah,
know
self-awareness is huge.
when I get stressed, I get manic and super focused on like one thing.
Mm,
So I have to recognize when I'm getting like that and stop it and go that you're doing this. You always say you don't want to be your father, but you're acting like your father.
mm.
And then I'll be like, okay, that's a slap in the face. All right, I needed that. Let's move on to something else.
There's a point I want to bring up later, but I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
There's a point I want to bring up later, but not at the moment. Um, Next one is practice time management.
Oh, I suck at this.
I do too. Set a schedule. I mean, I said before, having I know, like I said, I don't use this as a crutch, but I understand now the way that I have been in my past. Knowing that I've been diagnosed with ADHD. Notice going back at like time management is like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I spent 20 minutes doing this, 5 minutes doing this, 3 minutes doing that, 4 minutes doing here. Actually, the point I was going to talk about now, I'm going to go over here because this is something my therapist told me about. She's like, when you notice yourself doing it, don't beat yourself up over it.
Right.
Acknowledge it.
Yep.
And the reason I was bringing that up there because you were like, no, I don't want to be my father. It's acknowledging the moment so you can either correct or change a behavior or identify when you are doing something good and
Right.
give yourself credit for it.
Right.
But just knowing that you have the behavior doesn't mean that you're a bad person, doesn't mean, it's a quirk inside you and, just work through it. Don't beat
Right.
yourself up because that only adds to more stress.
Exactly. And you know, that self awareness, you if if you're a math person, you're gonna see patterns everywhere in life.
Hmm.
Or if you're an artist, you're gonna see patterns everywhere in life. And being self aware, you can see those patterns in yourself so you can change those patterns. And you may have to do a little research to figure out how to change those patterns, but it's just, normally when this happens, I do this. Well, now next time this happens, I'm going to do this.
Right.
Because I started that with my ex-wife because she thought she knew me so well that she knew how to push my buttons to get me to fight with her in text so that way she would have it for court.
Because it's written.
Right. So I would do what she wouldn't expect. I would ignore her or quick polite response and leave it.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yep. I refused to take the bait and I refused. I mean, and she tried. She would hit way below the belt.
Oof.
She knew how to hurt me, but I refused to go. I refused to be her.
Yeah, that's good. And going through a couple divorces myself, I get a lot of that.
Right. I
Uh,
like,
my next one, my next one is one that I really, really struggle with.
okay.
And My name literally translates to the healer.
Yep.
So I enjoy helping people,
Right.
uh, and learning to say no
Yeah, it's tough because we
is
are
a
people
hard
pleasers.
one for me.
Well, we're both people pleasers. We always
Yes,
have.
because when I don't, I get overcommitted.
Mm-hmm.
I forget that I told them that I would do it.
Yep.
And then sometimes I rush to try to get it done without asking for help.
Right.
And and then it puts a lot of stress on me because like, oh shit, did I do that? What? That sucks.
Right.
Or they ask, hey, like today somebody asked me to hang this shelf and I completely spaced it.
Right.
And I shouldn't have. It's like a 5 minute project.
Yeah. See, that was me last Friday. I had so much work to do at work. All the stuff he had told me to do, the stuff I didn't write down, that I had left work thinking I was done. I'm like, nope, I got to go back. I mean, I had to
Mm.
run the post office anyway. So I'm like, I'm going to go drop this stuff in the mailbox. Then I'll go back and finish the other stuff that I was supposed to do that I forgot about. So my day went from ending at noon to ending at 12:30.
Mm.
But it is what it is. I knew I owned it. I'm like, I was supposed to do this. I need to go back and do it. I'm going to make a little extra money. Oh, well.
There you go. Silver lining to it.
Yep. I always try to find a silver lining because, I mean, especially with work, because how many times we all have jobs where there's going to be times where they need you to stay,
Right.
whatever it is. And, like the kid that works for me, he was like, oh, I got to work an extra 2 hours today. I'm like, yeah, but you're getting extra 2 hours of pay.
Right.
I mean, it's not like you're doing it for free. You're getting paid to do it.
And it's not like you said you had a doctor's appointment or anything like that. Not like everybody's life should be put on hold to work two
Right.
extra hours, but
Well, I also pointed out, and a month ago, your wife got fired from her job and still hasn't found a job. So you need the money.
yeah.
So that's how you need to look at this. And he's like, yeah, okay.
So it also goes back to that's a perfect example of recognition.
hmm
We talk about manifestation and the rule of attraction or the law of attraction and the law of assumption a lot.
Right,
And one of these things is sometimes the universe provides for you. You just have to understand and accept it and realize that he's probably at some point in time went, man, could use a little bit more money.
right,
And the universe just provided it for him, but he wasn't there to accept it.
right,
He didn't appreciate it, so it may not come again
right.
in that form.
Yeah, and see, it's like I made a vow to myself that I'm like, my kids, they have jobs. They're gonna have to go 2 months without asking me for anything
Hmm.
because I'm building a new computer. I bought probably 98% of the stuff I need over the weekend, and and I'm having it all shipped to work since I'm gonna have to sign for it.
Oh,
So and then even if I'm not there, somebody else can, and I just go pick it up.
there you go.
But I got half of it today.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but the last piece won't be here until between January 29th and February 3rd. But I'm also the kid that I'm having build the computer. I'm going to have him teach me because that way I don't have to rely on somebody next time.
Exactly. And that goes to one of my last points on this is engage in a hobby
Yes.
and learning.
I'm going to add to that when you're done.
Oh, I was just going to say that learning how to build a computer, that and engaging in that, and then the activities you can do while you're on the computer can be considered a hobby.
Right. There's a couple more for the mental health strategies.
I have a few more too. I just wanted to throw that one. I was gonna toss it over to you to
Okay.
add here. I've been talking for a while now.
Right. So, there, I got two more in the mental health strategies. First one, get enough sleep.
Yes.
Um, like I am pretty good about usually getting between 7 and 8 hours of sleep a night. I just have times when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm up for a couple hours.
Mm,
Can't do anything about it, so I just accept it, and I don't beat myself up for being tired the next day. I just accept I'm going to be a little bit more tired than normal.
right.
That's what it is. I'll get through.
I don't get enough sleep
Mm,
because like right around dinner time, I usually hit this wall where it's too late for a nap, but it's too early to go to bed, and I'm tired. But then
Right.
somehow I push through that, and then 7, 8 o'clock, I'm wide awake. And then I don't know what happens, but I've watched 25, 30 videos on YouTube, and it's after midnight, and I start work at 7 in the morning.
Right. See, because I like to fall asleep to YouTube.
Hmm.
So like most people they'll have dinner, then like go sit in the living room and watch TV. So my wife and I, we eat dinner. After dinner, we lay in bed and watch YouTube.
Okay.
So we're already kind of primed up and ready for bed. So I'll watch some stuff I want to watch, but when it's getting to be about 8:30, then I'll turn on somebody who's got like a 3 or 4 hour video whose voice soothes me,
Mm.
and I'll relax, and I'm usually asleep before 9.
See, I can't sleep with the TV on anymore.
Mm.
Yeah, I used to be able to fall asleep to like when I was in high school. I used to, well, maybe that's the reason I didn't sleep well in high school either, because I always had a TV on. But I can't. I can fall asleep like on the couch with something there, like taking a short nap.
Right.
But I'll if the TV is on, I continuously wake up until I shut it off.
And see, for me, that's why I do YouTube because after the video's over, because I have it so it won't go into the next video.
Yeah, turn autoplay off.
Yeah, I turn autoplay off. So when the video's over with, basically a frozen screen until the screen times out and then it's a black screen. Because I'm with you. If it's going all night long, because I've had it where somehow the autoplay started back up
Mm.
and I'll wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? Oh, it's just, and I got to turn it off. And
You have the craziest fucking dreams.
yeah, but then I'm also now at this point, I'm irritated and pissed off. So I'm not getting back to sleep. And then I'm up. I'm up until the next night when I go to bed.
Yeah.
It's happened quite a few times. I've been up since like 2 a.m., then go to bed at like 9 o'clock the next night.
Well, I'll do that every once in a while. Like once every like 2 weeks, I'll just be sitting here and I'm not doing anything on my computer. YouTube is, I'm watching stuff, but I'm not even retaining what I'm watching.
Right.
And then I look at the clock, it's like, 8:30, 8:40, something like that. Like, you are an adult. You can go to bed whenever you want. You set your own bedtime now.
Right.
You're 51 years old. You can go to bed whenever you want now.
Yeah, my childhood punishments are now my adult goals.
Yeah, right.
Go to bed early, you're grounded, you can't leave the house.
I'm happy.
Yep. All right. And then my last one for the mental health is where to go. Strengthen social connections, join groups, take classes, or connect with supportive people. See, I'm pretty lucky. I have, I've always had a large group of friends, but I have a small group of close friends.
Right. I have a lot of acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
I have a smaller group of friends.
Yep. And so that small group of close friends, we'll get together on Tuesdays and play Dungeons and Dragons or board games or something like that. So we have some social interaction because didn't know how much I missed and craved the social interaction until I went like a year without it.
Yeah.
Where the only social interaction I got was when I was at work.
And so there's a theory out there that for true mental health or for quality of mental health, you need three places in your life where people know your name. So there are three locations. One, obviously your house.
Right.
Two, obviously work, unless
Right.
you're that hermit that nobody's ever met, you
Right.
know. And then you have to have a third one. Some people have church. Some people have the local watering hole. Some people have groups like you do, role-playing groups. But everybody needs a third place because it's like a trinity. Three is a divine number. It's
Prime number.
yeah, you need it's the this there's a rule in comedy of three. You say something once, it's funny. You repeat it, it's hilarious. You recall it to a third time, it's an amazing bit of comedy. Say it a fourth time, it's too much. You ruined it.
Yep. Yep.
But you need three places.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I did
All
have
right.
one little one,
Okay.
and I'm terrible at too, is or limit your caffeine intake.
Yeah, I limit mine to the morning and I don't, and then usually like after like sometimes like if we're doing a late podcast like this one, I'll have a small Red Bull beforehand. I didn't today just so I could have the energy level usually for it. But like I get up in the morning, I get up at 5. I have breakfast at 8. After I have breakfast, I have an 8-ounce Red Bull.
Hmm.
Then I go and get my day started, go to work. Then around 10 or 11, I'll have another 8-ounce Red Bull. And then usually that's where I quit it for the day.
Oh, okay.
Last week was a little off, but I I take these supplements every day, and a lot of them are vitamins, like a vitamin B complex, a vitamin D complex.
Mhm.
I was out of my B's for like a week and a half. I was exhausted. I was like, just walking was a strain.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, why am I so down? And so it was like 4 of the 8-ounce Red Bulls last week. But I'm usually pretty good. And I addicted. I've always been addicted to caffeine.
Mhm.
But after being able to drop it down to 16 ounces in the first half of my day,
That's awesome. Yeah, I
it's
see. I start with a cup of coffee. I get to my office about 6:30 in the morning, and the first thing I do right after turning the lights on is I fire up the old Keurig and make a cup of coffee.
right.
And then I'm better now. I used to be cup after cup after cup. That's why I went from a Keurig to or went from a pot to a Keurig
Right.
because one half the cups that I make were get they'd be cold by the time I'd finish them because I always get called away. But
Right.
with with a Keurig, I'd only make it when I knew I had time to drink the cup.
Ah, that makes sense.
And now it's like, well, like today, the last cup that I made was I drank it at like 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
But I used to drink all the way up till, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. But
Right.
I I won't say I've cut back because, I still drink a pot and a half of coffee a day. But
Right. Yeah. See, for me, I used to drink pop or soda all the time. I would drink it, in bed, getting ready for bed and
Mhm.
stuff, and I'd still fall asleep and everything. But I find I sleep so much better without the caffeine
Yeah.
that that's helped. All right. So now we have what they call quick stress relief techniques. I'm going to skip the first one and come back to it at the end because that one's not a quick one for me. That's a long one.
Okay.
So, spend time in sunlight to boost mood. I
Yeah.
mean, the vitamin D we get from the sunshine, that
Hmm.
stuff's awesome and it helps. And it's calming.
And if
You
you live in an area like I do, well, I mean, this is now I say that right now, you see the sun that's shining on the wall behind me, and we're late January in the Pacific Northwest. Normally, it's doom and gloom from Halloween all the way to Easter,
yep,
but we always get this week in either January or February where it's like 50 degrees out. People are wearing short sleeves. It's crazy, but then nature comes back.
right,
But out here, they have the UVB, I think is what it is, the tanning beds that are the better UV lights.
mm-hmm.
But doctors out here will actually tell people go go tanning because
Yep,
we just don't see the sun for so long. It's just dreary. Looks like Mordor here
right.
for months.
That's what Michigan's normally like. This year, we've gotten more sunlight in the winter than we have in the past
Hmm.
few years. Like I was wearing sunglasses this morning driving around for work. So, um, but yeah. All right. So the next one, perform a hand massage or use a stress ball. So being an artist, I have
Are
whether
you massaging the hand or is your hand massaging something else?
right. So being
That's
an
a
artist,
different form of release that.
I have these erasers that are called needle erasers,
Mhm.
and like you can like form them to an edge and stuff like that, so you
Oh,
can
nice.
lines. But this makes the best freaking stress ball.
Nice. That's awesome.
I recommend these over stress balls because there's more than one use.
Right.
All right. That and like having arthritis in my hands, many a night I have to ask my wife to massage my hands before I can go to sleep.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it does help and it's calming. Eat dark chocolate to regulate stress hormones.
Gross.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you, peanut gallery. I don't like dark chocolate.
Oh, uh, the antioxidants and everything that's with dark chocolate is it. There's so much it that I agree with that one 100%. I mean, I do really like dark chocolate, and
See,
but
doubt
it's one of those things that it's if for anybody who's ever watched Harry Potter out there when he was fighting the Dementors, what did the professor give him? He gave him some chocolate to do it, and it's like it's always picked my mood up.
Yeah. See, for me, it's blueberries.
Okay, yeah, blueberries have a huge amount of antioxidants in them as well.
I eat a bowl full of blueberries a day, and it helps with my arthritis and everything else. So,
I clean a cafeteria at a school. I have a PTSD about blueberries.
I can see that.
They stain the floor as you sweep them. So,
Yeah. Um, Next one is chew gum to reduce anxiety and lower cortisol levels. I
okay,
don't.
I'm not a gum chewer.
I'm not either. It was when I was a kid, but I'm like
I,
gum loses its flavor so damn fast.
I'm it's like I'd just rather do a breath mint.
Yeah.
Give me an Altoid any day.
Right.
Tic Tac.
All right. So now I'm gonna go back to the one I skipped because to me this one's not a short one, and they say it is.
Okay.
Listen to music, especially classical music.
Okay.
Now I can see, yeah, I know what they're saying. Listen to classical music because the intricacies of it and stuff like that, but also they want you to listen to more upbeat music.
Hmm.
What works for me, not necessarily going to work for everybody, but if I'm mad, angry, or stressed, I'll listen to mad, angry, stressed music.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that song will trigger another song in my head, and I'll go to that and go to that and go to that. And the next thing I know, I've gone from angry stress to happy upbeat music, and I'm in a better mood.
I'll go down those rabbit holes as well. Like if I'm watching, videos on YouTube or you just YouTube music, um I'll find say, I'll start off with like some Slayer or to Prevail or something like that.
Yep.
But when after I watch multiples of those, then it's like I'll lighten it up. It's like to like some Rage Against the Machine, and from Rage Against the Machine, I'm listening to some Anthrax. From
Yep.
Anthrax, I'm listening to some Public Enemy, and from
Yep.
Public Enemy, I'm listening to some Hyper Crush. And next thing you know, it's like I'm listening to 80s pop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% on
Yep.
that. It's like the natural progression of getting you off that ledge using
Yep.
music.
Yeah. I mean, but we're talking a couple hour process here.
Oh yeah, we're not talking like 20, 30 minutes here, I'm I may throw back a few adult beverages while I'm doing it as well
Right.
too, but I tell you what, I'm gonna be singing girls just want to have fun and no fucking time.
Yep. Yep. Same here. Because we always end up at 80s pop.
It was such a simple time in our lives.
Yep.
You know,
Because
we've
for
we've
me,
talked ad nauseum about 80s pop, so we'll refrain from going down that rabbit hole right now. But yeah, I'm with you with the music thing though.
yeah, but who doesn't like some Dirty Diana by Michael
Oh,
Jackson?
Stevie Stevens playing guitar on that track.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that's the one I did. Because to me, that's not a quick stress relief. That's a process. But that's
Yeah.
also a process of working through all those emotions and feeling those emotions for what they are, and then being done with those emotions and moving on to happier ones.
And yeah, and it's also you can't, like you said, it is a process because you can't just jump in and say, um, you know, I'm gonna listen to some Mister.
Right.
I'm fucking raging because I'm pissed off at my boss, I'm pissed off at the world, I'm pissed off at something I saw on TV about politics or whatever. I can't just, I can't go to Rick Ashley.
Right.
Not gonna work
Right.
because then I'm gonna Rickroll every motherfucker in this place.
Yep. Yep. No, you got to start. For me, it's always starting out with like Pantera.
You have to match the intensity of your mood.
Yep. Because like I helped my wife, but or build her angry music list.
Nice. And a lot of times, you're like, oh, I don't really have an angry music list. You don't have to go hardcore metal. You can go
No,
to your workout playlist.
right.
And generally, your workout playlist is something that pumps your adrenaline so
Yep.
that you can work out in the gym.
Yep.
Start there.
Yep. Exactly. So, all right. So that's it for the quick ones. I've got another category unless you've got one.
No, go ahead.
Lifestyle recommendations.
Okay, that's kind of the crux of everything else I have left.
All right. Maintain a balanced diet. Now,
Hmm.
this one I didn't realize was as important as it is until I got on the diet that I'm on now. And basically, it's diabetic friendly because my wife has diabetes. I eat every 2 hours. I basically graze throughout the day. Then at dinner time, I'll eat dinner and like I'll have blueberries for a snack at night, maybe some cheese popcorn, but
Hmm.
normally healthier foods. And it's
Nice.
helped me with my stress and sleep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And there is a whole there's it's more of an Eastern country style thing, like an Indian philosophy about or thought process that your body has two brains.
Right.
You have your brain,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have this whole thing that something runs your whole digestive system. And
Right.
all of this,
Yep.
something runs that, and it needs just as much fuel and good fuel as the one up here above your eyeballs.
Yep.
And if you can maintain a healthy diet that actually keeps your colon and everything else in check, you're going to be happy and healthy.
Right. Um, all right. So next is avoid unhealthy habits like excessive alcohol or drug use. Well, we both failed in that one.
Yep.
I'm not even going into it. Uh,
Not even gonna lie.
no. So then this one, create a calm environment or Zen zone for relaxation. Um, I don't have. I guess my office is my Zen zone because I
Uh,
relax while I work.
mine would be too, but it's also um a zone where I will watch football games, basketball games. I do, watch crazy ass YouTube videos, kind of like this one, like and subscribe. But you know, I don't really have like a temple or what was what is a Fortress of Solitude like
Right.
Superman.
Right. Yeah, same. And I'm not going into my basement. I don't recommend anybody going to my basement for stuff like that. um, but yeah, I mean, I have my own methods which I can talk to. You got any more to add to this?
So, two ones that are kind of along these things is use positive self-talk.
That's good.
Um, self-deprecating humor is funny,
Right.
but when you're doing it, it actually is subconsciously you're starting to believe some of the things that you're saying about yourself. That,
Right.
oh, like it's like, and I do this all the time. It's like I got up just at work today. I got up, walked over to the microwave, stirred my food, closed the door, went back and sat down at my desk. Then had to get back up, walk my ass all the way over there again. See, I just did it right now. Walk my happy ass all over there, and then do
Right.
that again. So, but like, what the fuck did you do that for, you dummy?
Right.
It's funny. It's always a hit when you're talking to people, when you're joking amongst people, but there is a certain level of harm that you
Right.
don't to the
Yeah.
psyche.
My wife gets mad at me all the time because I'll be like, "Oh, I'm dumb." She's like, "Yeah." Let me rephrase that. I'm having a dumb moment.
Yes. That's not self-deprecating. That's just being self-aware.
Right.
You notice that you did something dumb, but you didn't dwell on it, you didn't let it break you.
Right.
You accepted it in a moment. See, we're starting to bring all this shit back together.
Right. So I'm going to go into some of the stuff that I do for stress relief.
Okay.
So all these methods are great, but for me, the best method is whatever your hobby is, whatever you enjoy doing, go do that when you're stressed out. Like for me, art. I love my art. So if I'm stressed out, I'll start working on a piece and try because it calms my mind. And what really comes down to is we can't figure out how to cure the stress because we're stressed. So we have to
Right.
calm our mind and let our subconscious mind deal with it when we're not thinking about it anymore. We're like if you're working on a piece of art, you're like, okay, now you can't think about all this other stuff because if you do, it's going to intrude on what's going on this piece. So you have to find how to tune it out, zone in on this piece, get all the things done you need to do on it. And while you're doing that, your subconscious is mulling over this problem. And then you'll be halfway through it. And you're not thinking about it, but then an idea pops into your head that solves your stress.
Right. It's kind of like you can't prevent a heart attack while you're having one.
Right.
'Cause, you know,
But
you
yeah.
there's and so we threw out all these ideas like, yeah, that I really I like your idea there. I mean, you're redirecting all energies into something you love and you're letting the world basically Calgon away
Right.
around you. That's a good one. I uh that one doesn't work as well for me because I still have that high school football player in me that's got I'm so competitive when something's not that not even doesn't even matter the high school football player. It's remember the Nintendo days where you just couldn't get past the level, you get pissed off and you throw the controller and then you
Yep.
still had a wire, so you drag the controller back over to you and you play some more and then you're still pissed off. I find some of the things that I love
Yeah.
frustrate me as much as the
Okay.
stressful world.
All right. So something you love that isn't going to frustrate you.
Yeah, I guess really what I like to do that gets me away from that is I love planning things and developing things and figuring out how I can make that different. Now, like you're like, okay, what does that mean? Am I reinventing the wheel? No. Am I reinventing the car? Absolutely not. I would love to be able to make a car that ran on water, but I think the guy that did was killed.
Yep.
Conspiracy theory, go look that one up. But like the other day, I was looking through Amazon, which is another one of the things I just like to do. I'm not a shopper, I'm a spender. I just love spending money and I love getting shit. I love the dopamine of getting shit sent to my house. It's like my buddy
Yep.
Jeff sent me something new today. But I came up with a indoor hydroponic grow system for plants. Using
Nice.
5 gallon buckets, a water pump, and those little misters that you use on out on your patios.
Right.
So like right now I spent the money. I've got seed starters, and I'm trying to grow a bunch of heads of lettuce, and then they'll go into these little holes that are on the thing, and then on a timer, they'll spray the roots on the inside of the bucket
Nice.
there. So, these are the type of things that I've just bought all the shit to build my own Berkey water filter system.
Right.
But
My number one stress reliever, sex,
yeah,
with or without a partner.
yeah,
I'm like, that raises those dopamine levels and you get a release.
uh-huh. And as we've talked in the past on other episodes, I'm a practitioner of chaos magic.
Right.
And one of the ways that you fire off a sigil is with or without a partner.
Right.
I send a lot of spells, damn it.
Jason's got Popeye forearms. Just on one
Just
hand.
okay. If if that was actually true that you go blind or one arm would get bigger, I'd look like the Hulk on this side and it would be Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I mean you know, just do stuff that you enjoy. Just try to get your mind off it. Is what
Mhm.
it really comes down to. Because the more you focus on it, the more stress you're going to get.
And I'm gonna throw one more stress management tool that I do
Okay.
is having a few beers and daydreaming.
Oh,
Um, there's times where it's like my warm bath. There'll be times I'll be looking at like Zillow, looking at $10 million homes. There I go sometimes I'll go that route, or other times I'll be looking at different things on different YouTube videos, and next thing you know, I've printed out like 40 different recipes. I have a fucking book. It's a 4-inch ring binder, and I've gotten through work. I've gotten a bunch of those little sleeves that you stick in there.
Yep.
I'll print recipes out for hours on YouTube, and so I make some of the stuff, but I keep print like right, right here, some Cuban bread.
Oh, nice.
Where's the other one?
Chef John's
Oh,
Cuban bread.
yeah. See, like hot buttered garlic wings and
Ooh,
whatever the hell this one was. SpaghettiOs.
spaghetti.
SpaghettiOs.
Yep.
So, I
Oh,
mean, I haven't had SpaghettiOs since I was a kid, but I watched a video of a guy making them, and I'm like, holy shit, I can do that.
right. So I said I was going to go back to it, and I didn't. So I'm going to go back to it now. Qui
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we talked about Tai Chi being Chinese external medicine. Well, Qigong is Chinese internal medicine based off breathing. When you're stressed out, you want to sit upright or stand, breathe in real deep and fill your belly,
Hmm.
and pinch your shoulder blades together.
Okay.
Or no, breathe in, pinch your shoulder blades together. Don't worry about your belly yet. And then as you let go, slink down into your belly.
Okay.
So it's just, and that's like that sigh I was telling you that just lets everything go.
Gotcha.
Do that because like when I'm getting really anxious or I'm having a panic attack or something like that, I will do this, and it will usually bring me out of it.
Hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a good one to try, and check out other Qui-Gon things. There's quite a few of them. My old therapist introduced me to it and helped me go through quite a few of them, but they're good and they work.
There's a couple like little exercises. Like one, you cross your arms and kind of make your thumbs in
Yep.
front of for those that are just listening. You make the little birdie thing, like,
Yep.
and then you put your thumbs at the base of your throat, and then
Mm-hmm.
you just rhythmically start tapping back and forth. And what
Oh
it
yeah.
does is it starts it's each side of your brain is reacting differently to each tap,
Right.
and it kind of centers you again.
There is a practice called tapping, which does that and a bunch of other different tapping stuff that helps a lot too.
And I can't, we can't end this video without saying one thing though.
Okay.
Without, if you are at that point where stress is consuming you,
Yes.
seek professional help.
Please.
Because stress is even stress, like a little bit of stress for a little time, can do lasting damage to the human body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not promoting pharmaceuticals
No.
in any way, but if you're in that point, there are I've been on some of them in the past that
Mm-hmm.
actually can help. And they're not long-term solution. If you don't look at them as long-term solutions, like I'm gonna be on Prozac for the rest of my life. No, find talk with your doctor about it or your medical expert, and they will find you a path to get you centered, because sometimes stress can lead to depression, which clinical depression, is actually, that's chemical imbalances, that's misfiring of synapses, and it can lead to some really, really bad things for you. So if you are at that point, please seek medical help.
Yes. I back you up 100% on that. So
And
with
you
that
and I,
being
you
said,
and I have both talked to therapists before. So, and
yeah.
if you find the right therapist, it
Yeah.
can be a really rewarding experience.
It really can. I mean, I got lucky with the one the school gave me, but I don't know if I can find another one like her.
Yeah, I have one I can go back to whenever I want. But like we met, a couple dozen times, and she's like, at this point, I think you need to go out on your own, and because she was no nonsense. She's not there just to cash a paycheck.
Right.
She's like, I think we are at a point right now with you and I where we at. We haven't resolved everything, but I'm giving you all the tools to
Right.
help. And then she told me I could check in anytime I want. And that was a year ago, and I haven't actually. I'm not saying I'm cured. I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just like,
Right. Yeah, I hear you. So, with that being said, today we talked about stress relief, the dangers of stress, and how to just let go.
yes.
And let go, folks, because you see the shape that our world's in today. Everybody's always angry.
Hmm.
A miserable way to spend your life.
It is.
I mean, just I don't I don't care what my neighbors are doing. I don't care what people down the street are doing. I'm just worried about what I'm doing.
If make yourself happy, and the
Yep.
rest of the people around you will be happy too.
Yep. It's all about raising those vibrations. We've talked about that in previous podcasts.
We absolutely have.
So raise those bitches.
Woo.
Raise them high. All right. Well, that being said, I'm going to say peace out. Love you guys.
All right. Until next week.
All righty.